Alright, this week's been a real pain in the ass because one of our neighbors behind us appears to have hired a bunch of obese ex-cartel members' brother-in-laws to build him a fucking 1930s full-size wooden roller coaster, or so it would seem from all the sawing and hammering that's been going on in his backyard from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., even on weekends, for the last 2 weeks. I've been flinging Stanley's badger craps over the fence with the pooper scooper for the past few days, but I don't think these cocksuckers are catching on yet. So in addition to that, here are this week's top, or at least most annoying, news stories. First up, Russia stole Crimea in some jacked up, dangling Chad-style elections over the weekend. EFT Marine will have more on that later this week. And by that, I mean a full report on all the Ukrainian or Ukrainite or Ukrainarian prostitutes that he blew his per diem on while he's supposed to be covering the story. In other fucked up Asia news, North Korea apparently buried a bunch of their political prisoners alive because, well, that's just what they do because their leaders are subhuman 4'3" tall piles of dog shit. So no real news story there. In the Middle East this week, Israel beat the shit out of Syria with bombs for the 1 millionth time since Jesus Christ Superstar was an actual person and not just a hit Broadway musical. This is reportedly in retaliation for a roadside IED attack on some Israeli soldiers. A little pro tip for Syria: if your country doesn't even have a government, let alone an organized and nationally funded military that doesn't count some of its deadliest weapons as being rocks, slingshots, and dirty socks filled with tears, maybe you don't fuck with countries armed to the gills with tanks, fighter planes, and nuclear missiles. Because right or wrong, they're totally gonna fuck you up, dipshits. Back here stateside, the US national media continues to boner on with its non-stop coverage of that unsolved Malaysian plane crash/disappearance from a couple weeks ago. Seriously, you fucking dicks. Can you please stop showing this poor woman's crying face every time I turn on the TV or open a web browser? We get it. The plane most likely went down in the ocean, not some lost-like tropical island with a bunch of people on it who probably died, and it was a fucking tragedy. It doesn't mean you have to beat the story to death 24/7 like it was a Crimean prostitute who stole money out of your wallet while riding you reverse cowgirl. But until the plane or wreckage are actually located and officials figure out why the fuck it went down, stop re-reporting the same story over and over and over. Hasn't Kim Kardashian queefed the national anthem at an indoor arena football game, or Justin Bieber taking a dump in public next to a cop car this week? Jesus, get on your game, fuckers. Speaking of people who are totally fucked, that robo-leg professional jogger dude or whatever he is from South Africa, who's accused of shooting his model/reality show girlfriend through a bathroom door a bunch of times in the middle of the night, is set to take the stand in her murder trial next week. From looking at the courtroom pictures so far, I'd say sit this one out, buddy. Crying into your hands while hiding your head under a peachy folder while sitting on the witness stand is not exactly a look that screams, hey, I'm totally innocent and have no guilt whatsoever about killing this chick. It actually makes you look like a guilty crybaby who actually shot the bitch. Maybe plead the fifth or whatever similar statute they have in your crappy blood diamond-soaked country or something. Speaking of baby mama drama, in China, a baby hatch made to anonymously and safely receive unwanted newborn babies had to be shut down this week because it has been overwhelmed by abandoned infants. This is really sad news, but it's also a little comforting to know that the Chinese, with their stick-up-the-butt communist bullshit mentality, are still just as fucked up as we are in certain respects. And they love to fuck. And without rubbers, apparently. Just like us. Speaking of people who should have been abortions, Fred Phelps is dead. Good. Rotten hell, motherfucker. In other soulless person news, in Washington, earlier this week, Hillary Clinton said that the clash of values over the Crimea debacle could cause another Cold War between the US and Russia. But all I could think the entire time she was talking was, Benghazi, bitch! Tell the fucking truth about Benghazi! And then I threw something at the TV and then kind of zoned out into a catatonic rage fugue state until my wife got home with the kids later that evening. Good Christ, do I hate that fat-ass pantsuit-wearing, two-faced lying cunt. Hillary Clinton, not my wife. In other moronic political news, President Barack Obama released his March Madness basketball bracket this week, which is fucking amazing considering just last week he released a comedic internet video with the fat, autistic, bearded stoner dude from The Hangover to pimp his non-functioning national healthcare website. Sure, we might be teetering on the brink of World War III at any moment, but let's hope BHO has a little time to post some zany selfies to his Instagram account before the week is over. Hot fuck sauce on a churro's dick! Get your shit together, man! You're the President of the United States, not keyboard fucking cat! To wrap things up, A new study says that lack of sleep can cause brain damage. And anyone who's ever fallen asleep on an ambush will definitely attest to that one being true. Not that any of you out there would know anything about that firsthand. And the study's advice for getting better sleep? Turn off electronics and keep the room you want to sleep in dark. Yep, so just don't try napping in a plugged-in tanning bed in the middle of a Best Buy and you should be all set. How in the monkey fuck do people get money to do studies and give out bullshit advice like this? I want in. And finally, a shark tank at a restaurant at Disney World sprung a leak during business hours this week. And that's why I make sure that each and every member of our family brings their lucky hammer with them whenever we visit the happiest place on earth. Because again, they're not expensive. Handle your exploding shark tank during the appetizer course shit, Mouseketeers. And that's the news for today. Be sure to check out the new badass hammer-related t-shirt featuring yours truly and the F-word on it. A solid bet to class up any safety briefing, first date, or marriage counseling session. And please be sure to subscribe to the new AFT News channel here. Also, one final thing. The jerks at AFT are coming out with their own coffee mugs and brand of coffee later this month, so be on the lookout for that. I've been told that I'll even have my very own signature Butt Fuck Your Soul blend. And I swear to God, the apostles, and that dude that Elijah borrowed that chariot off of that he rode into space, if that coffee's hazelnut, heads are gonna motherfucking roll. Problem solved, problem staying solved. Rangers lead the way.